You see, guys, we are good investigators. Very good. Next one. Some specific types of chemical signaling hormones. Chemicals released into the bloodstream and act in the distance. Autocrine factor chemical signal is released from the cell types. Which one? Paracrine that will from one cell type act locally on other cell types on the same tissue. Some specific types of the chemical signaling that will be pheromones. Chemicals is released into the environment can affect other individuals. Yeah, that will be some of the pheromones. Have you ever heard about pheromones, guys? Do you know what is that? Pheromones. For example, somebody makes some of the perfumes with those pheromones and goes to the first date, and that will be, for example, the girls start to, for example, react it, oh, he's nice guys, he's cute guys, for example. That is those pheromones, which one is the environment that will be brings to the attention and brings to the more sexual drives and etc. etc. That will be one of the pheromones, which one is the chemical releasing into the environment. Smells, for example. Neurotransmitters. What? Make the notes in your MCAT exam and DET exam question. Gonna be ask you, what is the difference between neurotransmitters and neurohormone? Okay, neurotransmitter, I already explained from your Bio 1-1 class, that will be chemicals goes to the synaptic cleft and influence when acetylcholinesterase, for example, will be breaking down, that will be brings to the postsynaptic membrane reaction. Neurohormones released from the neuron into the bloodstream. In this case, as a neurotransmitter, that will be releasing in synaptic cleft. In this case, that will be into where? Into the
bloodstream.
Absolutely correct. Guys, we're gonna be finished soon. Maybe 5-10 minutes and we're gonna be done. Please, I know it's very difficult, 2 hours non-stop without any breaks, but we are finishing. We're almost done. What is determined size of the hormones that will be the hormones supposed to be circulated, hormones that will be triggers the effect, no receptors, no responses, no hormones, no receptors. Definitely, you remember when it was in the beginning of the lectures, no hormones, no receptors, no responses. This is exactly the same, whatever is mentioned one more time. How do you regulate hormone levels? Hormones are generally not secreted at the constant rate. Very good, but how is working? For me, it's interesting. I don't know. I would like to know. I'm first day in the class. How I supposed to know? Regulation of the hormone level supposed to be involved. First, hormone production, regulation of secretion of the hormone. It's clear. Where's the keys, guys? Production. Second keys. Which one, guys? Which one?
Secretion.
Secretion. Yes. What is the mechanism of regulation? That will be neural regulation of endocrine regulation. Which one is the neural regulation? That will be neuron synapses, which cells produce hormone such as norepinephrine released from the adrenal glands. Endocrine regulation bind to the endocrine cells, regulating the other hormones. For example, increase blood glucose level, increase the insulin secretion, and that insulin secretion brings to the, for example, decrease the level of the glucose in the bloodstream. That's why after they eat, blood sugar up, insulin start to release. After 30 minutes, after 1 hour, after 2 hours, when you measure your blood sugar level, will be low. It's clear. That will be endocrine regulation. Feedback. Guys, question for you. Positive, negative feedback. It was clear or not? I think so. 3 basis patterns of secretion could be in pulsative manners, acute and cyclic. Pulsative manners, pulses, yeah, pulsative manners. That will be here in pulsative manners. That will be, for example, in menstrual cycle. Acute and could be, for example, cycling. Pulsative manners, really relatively constant level of the hormone. Acute, rapidly increase the hormones. Cyclic, increasing and decreasing, for example, during certain period of time, for example, menstrual cycle. For example, during the menstrual cycle, first 14 days, that will be increase the level of the, for example, one of the hormones, that will be, for example, LH, and then decreasing. That will be cycling, yeah? But which one is the acute? For example, who likes to go to the Central Park? Okay. Probably is Mr. Mordechai. Mr. Mordechai, for example, he went to the Central Park. He's walking in Central Park. Some of the dog start to barking. Mr. Mordechai, he's afraid of, and he's running away from the dog because dog give him the hard time. And he afraid of from the dog. Question for you, which hormone will be released? That is the examples for the acute releasing of the hormone. Question for you, which hormone it will be released?
Epinephrine.
Absolutely correct, Mr. Mordechai, because that is the, you have a stress, your epinephrine, norepinephrine, and cortisol level immediately will be increasing. Now, question for you, an MCAT exam question will be something like that. They're going to be explaining the situation, and you have to understand the concept. If you don't know the concept, you will not able to answer. Yes. Question for you. Where come from, Mr. Mordechai, epinephrine, norepinephrine?
Adrenal cortex.
Adrenal what?
Medulla.
Adrenal medulla. Yes. Mr. Israel Gold, where come from cortisol?
From the G section of the what's it called?
Adrenal
No, cortex.
Cortex from zona fasciculata. Glucocorticoids. See slide number 13, Mr. Israel Gold. It's clear? See slide number 13. Very good. Okay. Guys, it's clear, yeah? Examples. Much better? In the beginning of the lectures, I told you every single slide, I will try to clarify, filter the slide, make sure that is the clear for you. Yes, Jan? Is clear? Miss? Yeah.
Me? I'm here.
Are you listening? You know the
Yeah,
style.
I have notes right here.
It's nothing new for you. Okay, let's go, guys. You remember when I told you one of the examples when going to be first 14 days of menstrual cycle will be increase the level of the LH and going to be decrease the level of H. That will be which one? Which examples of the hormone? That will be which one? Which one, guys?
Cyclic.
Cyclic. Very good. How are hormones transporting through the body to their target cells? Binding protein in the bloodstream. Keyword, hello, keyword. This is the exam question. Keyword that will be binding. Let's make like this. This is the MCAT exam question. MCAT, DAT exam question, keyword. The binding protein, let's make like this. Guys, it takes time. That's why I did that. Could you imagine during the lectures, I will be highlighted. The half lectures will be, for example, not covered. I don't want that. Instead of that, I want to give you clinical some of the stuff. Hormone must inhibit to act tissue binding affects activity of the hormones. Next one. What are hormone distributed to general circulation and part of the body? We already spoke about that. That will be bloodstream. What is the half-life? For example, question for you. If the hormone will be released from the endocrine gland and his life period of time 6 hours. Question for you. How many hours gonna be half-life? Okay, what doesn't mean 3? Half-life. That's mean first those 3, that was concentration of the hormones. It was 100% in the beginning. Yes or no? In the middle, that's mean already released how many percent of the hormones? That will be 50% of hormones is gone. That's why that will be half of life. It's clear? Hello?
Yes.
Different hormone releasing will be for lipid soluble and water soluble hormones. Let's see what's going to be telling about that. Conjugation of hormones. Some hormones, steroid is modified by the liver and make the parts of conjugation. Guys, MCAT exam, DET exam question. Please take the notes. It's clear, guys. Can I continue? Water soluble, that will be some of the sulfate, and I said this is the more chemistry part. And water soluble increase the rate. Hormones will be excreted by kidney. Guys, please make the notes. Okay, keyword is here, releasing by kidney. Please pay attention for this. We're almost done. Mechanism of hormone action, that will be hormone act on the cell, receptors, binding to the receptors, and then target cell. What receptors do? Activate second messenger system. Activate second messenger system. If this one is the second messenger, but where is the first messenger, guys? First messenger on the immediately when going to be touched to the self membrane. But when go to the second messenger, that will be stimulate cyclic AMP or cyclic GMP activation. We have a lectures for cyclic AMP, cyclic GMP. Examples for the cyclic AMP, that will be which one is the type of the membrane bound receptor kinase. For example, that will be insulin growth hormone. That will be protein kinase, protein tyrosine, or serine, protein tyrosine kinase. This is the MCAT exam question. Tyrosine kinase, protein tyrosine, that will be for tyrosine kinase receptor. You have to memorize. What do you have to memorize for the MCAT DAT? 2 hormones they're going to be asking you. Insulin, growth hormone. Here, that's why cyclic only this. Is clear? Mechanism bind for the hormones which do not eat a cell to the receptor. Surface of the cells. Look at here. That will be FSH on the cell surface, immediately binding with the receptor. That will be primary. When going to be stimulated, that will be second messenger. They typically affect second messengers, kinase of ion channels. Second messenger, increasing cyclic AMP, increasing protein kinase A. Because in the other mechanism, going to be protein kinase C. How I memorize? for your exam and for your MCAT exam, DAT exam. Look at here, cyclic AMP A, protein kinase A. That is helps to memorize. Intracellular receptor for steroidal that goes to the, for example, estrogen or etc., goes to the cell membrane, goes to the cytoplasm, goes to the inside of the nucleus. You remember central dogma, yeah, guys? Then gonna be stimulate DNA, impulse is sent from DNA to the messenger RNA, left the nucleus, goes to the cytoplasm. In cytoplasm, that will be ribosomes, and ribosomes start to make protein synthesis. Guys, it's clear mechanism. And the last slide, regulation of the receptor, responsiveness of target cells to the hormone is dependent upon number of receptors. By increasing or decreasing number of receptors, you can regulate the hormone activities. Upregulation increase the number of receptors due to the increasing of the synthesis. And downregulation, that will be opposed. Guys, we're done for today. Do you have any questions? So far, is understandable?
Am I the last question?
Yes, 1 second.
Okay.
My recommendation, student usually asking me, how can I will be successful and succeed and increase my grade? Your lectures, for example, lectures 2, lectures 3, and etc., that with the notes, it's already posted before come to the lecture. Very briefly, read those slides and come to the lectures. What's going to happen? Happen following. When you read the question for 30 minutes, 40 minutes before come to the lecture, you're going to be memorize 30% material. When you come to the class and professor start to explain, you edit additionally 30-40%. After first lecture, you're going to be having the information 60-70% cases. That is already high. If you go home and you go to study, that will be around 80-90% material you already knew after the first lecture. But do not forget, we are doing the review 1 week before the exam. And you're going to be studying within 1 week before the exam. Definitely all questions, all material, it will be covered, and you're going to be guaranteed for the A. That is the secret. Yes, Mr. Ruben Katz.
I think you explained, so apologize for repeating, but are you able to repeat what the first messenger is?
Hormones binding on the cell surface immediately. For example, this is my ring that will be binding immediately with the first receptors. That will be first. And then going to be passed through, it will be stimulated for the past membrane, stimulated activation for the cyclic AMP. Cyclic AMP already as a second messenger.
Okay, thank you.
Guys, if you don't have any questions, then have a good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom, and see you next week.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Professor.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Professor.
welcome. How
Thank you,
was your
Professor.
style of the teaching? How do you like the style of the teaching?
It's
Very
different.
good, Professor.
It's different, but I like it. I appreciate you specifying stuff that's on the MCATs, on the DATs, and the high yield questions.
It's going to be much better. After a couple of the lectures, you're going to be realized that totally different. Probably you heard about this from the other students as well. I'm pretty sure.
I didn't actually talk to anyone actually before class. I'm coming in cold.
Maybe you make the your ratemyprofessor.com and check who is this professor, because I don't know who is this.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
The high yield questions are specific for your exams, right? The HY.
Each high yield, it's for everyone, for the MCAT and DET and our exam.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Have a good Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom.
you.
And
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Professor.
תודה רבה, תודה רבה.